It's very warm. It's very unusually warm here. 75 degrees today. I don't understand. Like, it's so weird in November. But the cold is coming, so there's nothing you can do about it. It's coming soon. I just had to drop off some stuff for the postal. And then I was down in South Carolina helping my dad. He's going through some chemo, but I think he's going to be okay. And but you know, I was thinking about riding a motorcycle in other states. Besides California, Texas might be okay too. Florida is actually a no-go. It's not that safe on a motorcycle. South Carolina is totally unsafe on a bike. So actually, I would venture to say that New York is actually safer than South Carolina, believe it or not. You would look at all this chaos, but look at the speed that I'm driving. I'm doing 25 miles an hour. If you drive on some of those country roads in South Carolina, if you do 25, you're gonna have people up your ass, man. It's not cool. I mean, that's not something that you should be doing. So I'm taking Amsterdam up to Harlem because I don't feel like going on the West Side Highway, and I just wanted to give you guys a better view than lane splitting on the highway, you know, for my first day back in New York. And I hardly ever take this Amsterdam Avenue, so I may as well give you guys a nice view of the Upper West Side. I'm going to take this all the way up, and I'll turn on 125th, take that across, and then cross over the 3rd Avenue Bridge, or 1st Avenue actually, because it's 3rd Avenue when it's coming back into New York. Speed camera. I was doing like 30, but you know, those things are everywhere, man. They're fucking insidious. Like, I don't really know how regular drivers can deal with that. I mean, because those things are freaking everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. And they're absolutely insidious. I mean, they're just at every corner, every single everywhere you turn, drive, whatever you're doing. Yeah, I gotta keep my shield down. I'm not used to, because in the warm weather I usually use a fox helmet with goggles. That seems to be the best bet for me. And then, yeah, I'm going to go up to First Avenue Bridge, take it over into Bronx, and then take care of what I got to take care of over there. There's a problem with a fire panel. And then tomorrow I got to go to Washington Heights. I still didn't get a chance to take care of this windscreen, like vibrating. I got to add an extra rubber washer for it. But it's so warm right now I don't even need gloves, which is very odd in November, because usually in November it would be 50, 40s, low 40s, 50s, and then December is even colder, and then January is even colder, and February is really cold. But right now it's just like unusually warm weather. take this all the way to 125th. I'm only at 105th now, but you can climb up at Amsterdam pretty quickly in a bike, but not in a car, because there's always somebody pulled over like this. There's always some taxi picking up somebody. It's a very busy road and actually quite congested for cars. And then it turns to two-way up ahead, so it's even more difficult to get through here. Really rough road for coming up on a car. So yeah, I was thinking about what I was saying as far as like safety and stuff. Believe it or not, and it would sound crazy to say this, but I think LA, New York, San Francisco are safer places to ride a motorcycle, only because people are expecting a motorcycle most of the time in those places. Whereas in South Carolina, most of the people riding motorcycles is for leisure. Not everybody, you know. But you don't see I didn't see like a lot of motorcycles except when you get into the city. Obviously, people are using that for parking reasons, which makes sense. But I didn't see much delivery people on scooters, 50cc's, or any of that stuff. It looked like most of the people that were riding on the lower cc bikes were doing it because of license problems, whereas in those states, that's a loophole for you. Like if you lose your license because of a DUI in South Carolina, there goes another one. You just go ahead and get a 50cc scooter so you can get around. You know, if you live in town and you got to drive a couple miles to work or something where it's too far to walk, or there's no buses or anything, and there's not much buses in in South Carolina. So yeah, that's what you got to do. But I didn't see a lot of I didn't see any dual sports, which surprised the heck out of me. But there are probably people using those to go off road and stuff. Like XR's there. Why would anyone drive it on the road there? You're just gonna be winding it out on the freeway. So there's really no enjoyment to having an XR there. Small gas tank, all that stuff. But I'm gonna be doing a video pretty soon on lining up the KLR and the XR, lining up the two of them to give you guys a comparison video of what the XR has and what the KLR, because these two bikes are what people usually, when they're looking for a dual sport, they're going to land on this one, they're going to land on a DR650, they're going to land on a XR650 like this one, and they're going to land on a KLR. They're not going to land on a Tenere 700, Tenere 700, because the 700 is too difficult to get and way more money, so, and they're not going to land on those KTMs because they're just too expensive compared to these bikes, and ease of maintenance, all that stuff just doesn't compare. So they're going to land on XR650, KLR, DR650. Those are the go-to dual sports, and there's nothing else they're really going to land on right now. That might change though, as things move along and they come up with new models and stuff. There'll be new models that'll come out, and they're gonna try these new models out. I don't know what's available right now though, because I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything really new coming out. I mean, it's pretty much look like they're still making. They released a 2022 XR650 with the white. They changed the color a little bit, but the bike is exactly the same. KLR's been changed a lot, for the better. Fuel injection. They brought the bike into the ABS. They brought the bike into the modern age, which was good. Putting ABS on the KLR is a good thing because it's a big bike, and you're normally going to be driving that in cities and country roads, whatever. You're going to be doing a lot of driving with a KLR in places where you would need ABS. So having ABS on, that's great. Whether they'll do that on this bike, I don't know. I don't think so though, because I think the XR the best thing Honda can do is just leave it the way it is, because once they start changing it, they've got to meet new requirements. And one of the reasons why this bike is a big seller is because of its weight. It's like an empty pallet, you know. You can put a bigger gas tank on here if you want to, and I'm actually thinking about it, because every time I go on the highway, you know, I put this windscreen on to be able to ride this a little bit longer into the season, and a bigger fuel tank would really mate up perfectly with that. It definitely would mate up perfectly, having a bigger fuel tank. Because then you get a little bit more range, you know, because that's where this bike is lacking in its fuel capacity. And, you know, wind protection, and the rack on the back is, you know, you've got to build something, whereas the KLR comes stock ready to go with a rack and everything you need. And it comes with a decent rack that's ready to go. I mean, the platform for the KLR, the rack is very beefy. You could build on that and just, you know, add on what you want to it. You're ready to go. It's a nice rack that's built and ready, and there's no issues with putting like a box on there or whatever it is you want to put on there. The KLR is ready to go. Whereas this bike, you've got to put something to stabilize that back. And if you're going to carry, like when I carried the boxes, the only thing I did was put that Harbor Freight box on there. That was the only thing I could put on there, because nothing else, you know, I didn't really want to put a rack on it, because if I put a rack on it, I would end up just putting a box right on top of the rack. So the rack thing, spending money on a rack just didn't make sense, whereas I could put the box and then put big washers to go through the subframe brackets, you know, and then just stabilize it that way. And that's what I did. I stabilized the whole thing with bolts and washers. So I'm looking to get to this place before 5. Yeah, this is always traffic here. I probably should take that bike lane across just to try it out, because this is like yeah, it's my first time doing this, but it looks like it's worth it. Yeah, you just get right across instead of dicking around with that place. Nobody gets mad over here, because I've seen motorcycles take this all the time, and it's actually a lot safer. But you know, like if somebody complains, I'll just tell them, sorry man, I thought it was okay. I don't want to get in a fight with anybody, but it doesn't look like anybody would mind. And then the only thing is that this brings you down under. Kind of inconvenient for me because I want to be up there. So I'm never going to take this again because I don't think, well actually wait a minute, let me see. Maybe this will bring me up over. Okay, they got these little things to block people from taking cars here. Well, may as well stay in this bike lane now. But that would be nice to have a Sur-on just to zip around the city. I think I may actually want to get one of those one day, but I don't have, where I live right now would not work for that, so I wouldn't get one until later. I'm breaking all kinds of rules here. Fucking Well, I jumped back in the road, but it was useless. I mean, this is like all messed up. Yeah, I'll post that video of that Karen that was bothering. I was dropping something off at the post office, and this freaking Karen, like screaming at me. I'm gonna call 911. I live in this neighborhood, and I said I'm dropping off at the post office. She says you're on the sidewalk. Move that bike onto the street right now. And I said, you know, you should fucking mind your business. That's what I don't know what her problem was, but. She must have singled me out, you know, because I look like a nice guy, I guess. That's probably what happened, because she wouldn't do that to some dude that was pulling up on a dirt bike. Or a delivery guy on an electric scooter. She wouldn't be messing with it. She'd know she'd be barking up the wrong tree. But I was, you know, wearing a motorcycle jacket, helmet, a legit rider. She just attacked me, screaming at me, telling me to get my bike out off the sidewalk, get it out of the street right now, or I'm calling 911. I said, go ahead, you call 911, you know, because I'm not going to deal with somebody like that. Alrighty, let's see. Yeah, I think I got to turn over here. Yeah, this is going to be a rough turn. I'll go down here. Fuck it. Yeah, this is not the place where I went. I mean, I had a service call over here, but this is not the one. This is not the street. It's 140 A Street. Yeah, perfect. I got to go around here, and then I'll check the fire panel in there. Yeah, right here. Yeah, Donna Rosita. That's the one. And I'll put it right here because this place here is one of those kind of places where you might come out and not find your bike. So you'd want to put it like right here. Alrighty, buddy. So let me know what you think in the comments about what I'm saying, if it's correct or not. Like, is it actually safer here to ride a motorcycle, or is it safer in South Carolina, North Carolina? From what I could see, it looks like it's actually not as safe. Like the only reason why I say that is it looks like people are not expecting motorcycles. Like they're not looking for them. they seem to drive with a less care for motorcycles. Is what I'm trying to say. It's not on purpose. They're not crazy, and then plus the craziness of people, the way they're driving in general. There's is rough. It's everywhere. So it's not something you don't see in South Carolina. You see it in there. You see it there. You see it here in New York. You see it in North Carolina. You see it everywhere. So let me know what you think. Where is it safer because I'm in a big city and people just expect bikes and they don't move abruptly from their lane changes and stuff like that? And plus here, the speed that you're traveling is way slower than in rural parts of the U.S. That's for sure. Does it make it safer? Let me know what you think.